Hi, I'm Will from Daloopa. In this video, I'll be showing you the Daloopa MCP, and I'll demonstrate how we integrate with Claude to unlock powerful quantitative functionalities grounded in verified, source-linked financial data. For a little bit of background, Daloopa is the most complete fundamental dataset for thousands of global tickers, with more KPIs collected per ticker than any other dataset on the market. The Daloopa MCP pulls this data into Claude to provide the basis of any quantitative prompt that a user may ask. Additionally, for every fundamental data point referenced, Daloopa provides a hyperlink directly back to the source document for maximum auditability. Today, we're going to talk through how to connect Daloopa's MCP to Claude, how the MCP functions, and then we'll walk through best practices for prompts. Okay, let's get started. So right now, we're in Claude, and in order to enable the Daloopa MCP in Claude, your enterprise admin needs to set up the integration on the back end before you can use it. You will also need Daloopa credentials that can be set up with your Daloopa account rep if you don't already have them. After the MCP has been integrated by your admin, when you open Claude up, you'll click on the slider button here and click the Daloopa button to connect. It will then take you to a window where you will log in with your Daloopa credentials. Afterwards, the MCP will be enabled and answers to your prompts will be generated using Daloopa data as the foundation when specified. To show how the MCP works, we're going to type in our first prompt here, which falls under a common use case for our users, which is benchmarking, or building out comparative analyses. Our benchmarking prompt will be, compare cash-on-cash returns for the last 4 quarters on opening a Cava, Shake Shack, and Chipotle store. Use Daloopa data and provide hyperlinks. So immediately, because we have the Daloopa MCP enabled, instead of Claude going to the internet to collect financial data, Claude will go to the Daloopa database, and the MCP starts by telling Claude which companies we have data on. Claude identifies that there is Daloopa data for all the companies listed. After the target companies have been identified, the Daloopa MCP will then direct Claude to the line items for each company that answer the user's prompt. So here Claude has identified that Daloopa has all the series needed to calculate cash on cash for each of these companies. Lastly, Claude will query our database for all the values for the identified series and then conduct additional analyses using these data points. Any data points that have not been found in the Daloopa database, but is required to be used in the analysis, may be pulled from the internet or other data sources, but that will always be explicitly called out in the final analysis. The artifact may take some time to generate depending on prompt complexity, so let's connect back when we have a result. So here, Claude has completed its analysis based on our prompt. The final output will then be generated in the artifact. As it populates, you'll see that any fundamental data point referencing Daloopa data will have a hyperlink that takes you directly back to the source document. If you click on it, you'll be taken to the Daloopa hub where the data point is clearly highlighted for maximum auditability and trust in the sourcing. Lastly, I wanted to talk through some best practices for prompts to ensure the best outputs. As a general rule of thumb, when referencing Daloopa's MCP, always specify that you'd like Daloopa data to be used in the prompt. If you have multiple data MCPs and you would like to use Daloopa's data for specific KPIs, it's important to specify that information in the prompt as well. Another best practice is to provide guidelines for time series you'd like to look at. If you have a specific period of time you'd like the data to be pulled through, it's helpful to give clear direction, and if not, specifying to use all historical data helps as well. So if we're doing a financial analysis prompt, we could write, use all historical data available to run me a sensitivity analysis on ARPU and impacts on fiscal year 26 for Netflix, use Daloopa data and provide hyperlinks. This prompt is already pretty good, but to make it even better, a third best practice would be if you know the types of KPIs you'd like the analysis to be based off of, specify those explicitly as well. A great example of this is in analyses that utilize KPIs that have both GAAP and non-GAAP disclosures. Specify that you'd only like one of those to be used to narrow down Claude's search and provide accurate apples-to-apples calculations. So here, we can add on that we'd like to only look at non-GAAP metrics. And then lastly, if you want Claude to highlight specific segments, drivers, breakouts, or data points, please specify those callouts. So here we can add extra color that we're trying to look at impacts on fiscal year 26 profit margins. Hope this was a helpful walkthrough of how Daloopa's MCP can empower you to maximize Claude's analytical power, and go to daloopa.com/MCP if you'd like to learn more.